Come thrifting with me. I am back at the thrift store that had the rug kits. You guys, I had an overwhelming number of people tell me it was easy, that even kids could do it. So you basically talked me into it. It has been over a week since I have been here though, so it may not be here. I'm going to give it a go though. So let's get to it. Today I grabbed my small blue basket because when I grab the small one, I always find a lot. I made a beeline directly to the Christmas stuff and it was gone. Thankfully, last time I was here, I noticed this one up high, kind of hidden, and so I'm going to go ahead and grab that one. It's $3.50 and doesn't fit in my basket. I tried, and so I took it to the counter. So back to my regular route through the store, I did see this beautiful piece of artwork. The frame was antique. It was $150, which is probably appropriate. And then this dresser, I loved it. It was $60. The drawers opened and closed so well. It was in such great shape. It would be perfect in my primary bedroom. It's just the logistics of loading it up, getting it home, unloading it and everything. I just couldn't do it. It wouldn't fit in the Telluride anyway. These were really sweet, kind of mid-century style tables, and so definitely worth a look. $10 for the pair. Such a great deal. I did use some of these baskets in my entryway recently, and so I thought about getting another one for $2, but it didn't sit completely flat, and so I left it for someone else. All right, this might be the weirdest thing I've ever found at the thrift store. A cheese knife that says fat. What? In what world? Please explain if you know what that is all about. But moving on, I did find a couple of plate hangers for 50 cents. I went ahead and grabbed those because I'm going to give some to my cousin. This little gift box was only $1. It had kind of a vintage vibe to it, so I talked myself into it. I'm a sucker for containers and gift wrapping supplies, of course. This plastic plate was also only 50 cents. I'm always looking for things like this to use at Christmas time to put crackers and chips and snacks on, so I'm going to grab it. Plus, they're easy to store because they're flat. I found another set of wood bead garland, and so I had to grab that. And the candle tree for only $1.50 will be so cute at wintertime. Also for winter, this 25-cent coaster will be really cute in the living room. Then I moved on to the kitchen stuff. This is a 50-cent cord shortener, and so I think it might work on our coffee pot, so stay tuned. I love the orange. I was just curious about the price of this utensil carrier. I use those for my gift wrap station, so I was just seeing if it was better than the ones I have. But I left it for someone else, and I moved on to that butter spoon for only 50 cents. This cheese plate was so cute. It had mid-century vibes. I have items like this, and so I really almost didn't get it. But then I decided, you know what? There are times I get goat cheese, and I don't have just a small plate for it, so I'm getting it. The blueberry lemon goat cheese is so good. But moving on to this brass trivet, I really liked it. It's from Williamsburg. Is this a specific design though? That's why I talked myself out of it because I'm just not familiar. But this brown bowl caught my eye. It would have worked really well in my entryway, and I thought only $1 was a great price. I can really style this in so many different ways, so I talked myself into it. I also love the wood tone. Then I saw this vintage macrame plant hanger. I love the green color. The price is definitely more than I should have spent because it was $3, but I love her more than $3, so I gotta get it. This lace I don't need, but it was inadvertently priced for 10 cents, so I had to grab it. I also don't have any purple, so I grabbed that one for $1. Then I saw these file folders that might work for organizing my gift paper, but I decided they were probably a little tall, so I moved on. The yellow color of this velvet ribbon was so pretty. It was only 50 cents, and so I had to get that. That will be for Christmas gifts. When I was wrapping my brother-in-law's gift, I needed more black, so I'm going to grab that black ribbon. And for 25 cents, they had these green, I think, flower support wire or something. I don't know. My kids use a lot of that kind of stuff, so I'm going to get them. And for good measure, another blue ribbon for the project that I'm going to be working on soon. That's when I spotted these pieces of cardboard for 50 cents. These would work for organizing my gift paper. They're a little tall, but could easily be cut. There were plenty too, so I'm really excited. Also for 50 cents, there were these bookends that will be really good in my husband's office. And then right before checking out, I found this amazing leaf pin for $2. Totally worth it because it is vintage. I don't know if I can make it into a magnet, you guys. It's so gorgeous. But overall, I spent $24.18 and some really cute finds today. Come see the vinyl wrapped fridge reveal. We have a kitchenette, which is a small kitchen next to our game room that includes a refrigerator and microwave and no stove. I love a good 70s vibe, and so I had a dream of wrapping our fridge and microwave in an avocado green. The room would be accented in brass and gold. If you've been here for long, you saw us install the golden sink, the golden faucet, and new countertops. I also decorated the floating shelves and the countertops with all of my 70s goodies. I was pretty steadfast in wrapping their fridge and microwave in green, however, I was called crazy a few times. My idea was to match this plate, however, they gave me a couple of vinyl colors to pick from, and I chose just one shade darker, number 4. Some people said that I should do gold instead, but I just felt like green was the right choice. Well, let's see if I was right. Here's the before, and here's the after. I chose a matte finish, and I couldn't be happier with how this turned out. A lot of people had me questioning myself, even thinking maybe I should have gone with gold, but no, this was the right choice. I even love how they were able to do the handle on the microwave. And as I continued to decorate this room, a lot of people were worried that I wouldn't be able to use magnets on my new vinyl fridge. The fantastic news is, yes, I tested it and it will work just fine. I can't wait to do my refrigerator gallery down here. Maybe I'll post that tomorrow. The next step will be a tile backsplash, so stay tuned. Thanks for coming along, guys. Come work on my kitchenette magnet gallery with me. When we left off, I had just revealed the new vinyl wrapped fridge and microwave. To show that my fridge was still magnetic, even with the vinyl added, I had placed this cute pear magnet on there. But I have been collecting a lot of vintage magnets, so I want to create a gallery. There's no handle on this door, so I have a huge area to work with, which I think actually was kind of challenging. In the meantime, I have been storing all of those magnets in these 2 containers. The first one is a vintage ice bucket, and so I had thrown just a couple in there. There was this Holly Hobby framed magnet that we made a while back. A couple of wooden fruits, so I have the pear, a strawberry, and an apple. I do have a couple of these little mushrooms that are a little phallic, but we're going to ignore that. I have a couple of carousel horses. This one might be worse than the other one, honestly. And the last one in this container was a coaster that I'm going to make into a magnet. In the vintage Tupperware, I'll be honest, there was more in here than I had remembered. I have this vintage measurement chart, a golden Elvis record, this knitted owl, which is so 70s and I absolutely adore. I did look out and find a couple of these plastic fruits as well. My daughter made me a mushroom that one of the magnets fell off of. I need to re-add. And I did pick up a Hershey's magnet kit that had measurements on the inside, so it was all the ingredients to some hot cocoa. Very cool. It's definitely vintage, even though not all of the colors necessarily go with the whole vibe. I'm still going to try and make them work. Here's another carousel horse that has green on it, which I think might work better. Another heart my daughter made me. More of that vintage fruit. This butter, even though it's not really 70s, I still kind of feel like it fits. And lastly but not least, my I Love Lucy Vitamita Vegemin magnet. Since I don't have anything for fall in here, I thought I might also try to work this Halloween pumpkin in. So the first step is to take the ones that aren't already magnets and to make them into magnets. I grabbed my magnet container and now it was time to start mapping out what size and strength of magnet for each one. The pumpkin was a pin, so I am going to peel that off with some needle nose pliers before getting started. Both of the ones that my daughter made me, I had already made into magnets. They just had one fall off, and so I'm just going to replace them. I get asked a lot about how I glue my magnets on, and most of the time I just use hot glue, and that's simply because I am impatient and don't want to wait 24 to 48 hours for glue to dry. I have had issues where the magnet is so strong that it does detach from the actual piece when I go to take it off. And in those cases, I will then use E6000. But I still tend to lean towards hot glue because it peels off and cleans up so easily. For the coaster, I was trying to decide which way I thought was up. And so I landed on that orientation. I think that's what looks best. So again, here is the before with the small pear on it. And after a lot of time of configuring, this is what I ended up with. And I can't forget to re-add the pear for the gallery. I'll be honest, this was a little bit underwhelming for me. The pumpkin didn't work either. It just gave off too much of a 90s vibe. I think it's just too many small items and I need more big frames. But like everything in this house, it is a work in progress. And as I thrift and find treasures, I will be able to change this out and really adapt it to what I want it to be. So here is the first iteration, and I hope that you guys stay to see how it develops and changes as we find things. That's all for today. Thanks for coming along, guys. Come put some thrift finds away with me. The Fall and Halloween edition. I love to thrift, but I love to style, store, and organize my thrift finds even more. So let's get to it. There's so many fun things, but I'm going to start with this hanger. You may have guessed it. In my entryway, I have a mug holder that I like to hang decor from. And at first I thought I might switch out this 5. People do ask what the 5 is for, and it's just for the number of people in my family. Once I stepped back though, I thought I might be able to re-add it, and I like it, although there might be something missing over in this area. That being said, I do have this little Halloween bucket. A little pop of orange over here would be cute, and I kind of like it. My original plan was to put it on this trinket shelf, but there are a lot of jack-o'-lanterns already. So then I was feeling inspired that I might use the rat. In general, people aren't a big fan of him, but what if he was holding a little Halloween bucket? I was able to take the wire of the bucket and put it right through. It really does kind of look like he's holding on to it. So while you guys hate him, does this make him a little bit more endearing? I think I like it. It's very kitschy. Maybe I'll be able to make him some candy or something for it. Next up are these fall butter knives. One was a cornucopia, one was corn. This scarecrow has seen a few things, and pumpkins. I have cleaned everything else, but these I have not yet, so I'm going to wash them. So let's move on to these smaller items that I got to make magnets out of. I also got this jack-o'-lantern to make into a magnet. So here is my current Halloween magnet gallery. I thought about adding it, but I just think it might just be too much and too big. So I think I'm just going to add the smaller ones. I also have this one that I'm going to try and fit in because it didn't work in my kitchenette. While the glue gun is heating up, let's find a place for this one. I have a lot of 90s in orange going on over here. However, that top left corner is missing something. So I thought I might use my sticky dots and just put him on the cutting board, and it would be that pop of orange. I don't know that I love that there's two jack-o'-lanterns stacked on top of each other, but from the side, they're not quite lined up, and I think it works. Now back to the magnets. I did take off the string of the cat, so it was no longer an ornament, and it's time to put them up. Here's my current gallery, and here's the after. I was able to spread it all out, and I really like the way that it looks overall. They were nice ads. Now on to this terrifying cat. His eyes used to light up, but the battery is dead. I will have to look and see if I can't replace it. This end table felt like it was lacking a little bit, so I did want to add more to it, and I think the cat's a good addition. Additionally, I thought that this pumpkin candle would look better here. It complements the photo a lot more. That was a really good change, I feel like. So this other guy, I am going to put in my desk area. I did decorate over here a little bit. I gave the owls a pumpkin, the elephant, and the mouse pumpkins. But there was something missing down here, and so that looks great. He can watch me do bills and such. Next are these tan shoestrings and vintage bracelets. Both will go to my bedroom and into the primary closet. When I first saw these tan shoestrings, I immediately thought of my sambas and the color of the soul. I really like the red shoestring, but maybe I might try out the tan as well. So I'm going to lay them there for the next time I wear them. As for the bracelets, I have a grab and go area in my closet for my most worn jewelry. And so I will hang these up, and I did pull a couple that are more for tropical vacations. Since they're not every day, they will go in my jewelry box in the bracelets drawer. This amber top hat is such a dream. I love it. I always have toothpicks sitting on our dining table, and so I'm going to switch out the clear one for this one, and it matches the big top hat. How adorable and so fall. The toothpick holder goes back into my hutch with the rest of the toothpick holders. I also use them for teaspoons. Next to those, I do keep all of my extra salt and pepper shakers. And there's a spot open for, you guessed it, the corncob ones. They will be ready to come out in November. Now, I know you guys are dying to see this pillowcase and know more about it, but we're going to keep it for last. I thrifted this candle holder and didn't get it worked into my regular Halloween decor. I have a couple of other candle holders, but again, I feel like this area didn't get enough attention. So I'm going to try and replace the spider. And since I can't put tall candles on it, you guessed it, some tulips. Even though this one has a gasket, it still is very loose fitting, so I'm going to use a good hack, which is to use a rubber band. Thankfully, I have an amber obsession and I have 3 that match. The one in the middle looked a little larger, and so the candle wouldn't fit all the way down on the left and right. I thought I might fill the bottom with Epsom salt, but I thought if the cats knock it over, that'd be a nightmare, so I decided to use some crafting rocks. Now that they are all level, I'm going to put the candles in, and I think that looks really cute. Very eerie and Halloween, too. The book stack was a little tall, so I adjusted it and placed those back on top. It definitely feels like this end table is starting to jive with the rest of the living room. Now on to the pillowcase that my sister got for me. Her and I both love the movie, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. And we always joke that we're going to go as them at Halloween sometime. So this year she got me a pillow cover and I love it. You guys know I love a good throw pillow. The teal doesn't necessarily fit in, but it doesn't matter. I love it so much, and so I'm going to put it off to the side. I still think it's creepy. That's all for today. Thanks for coming along, guys. Come to a church rummage sale with me. I was just running my general errands this morning when I saw a sign for a church rummage sale. If you are a thrifter, a garage sailor, estate sale goer, then you know that churches have the best sales. They are just trying to move stuff, so usually the prices are pretty good. Let's get to it. I'm continuing with my blue basket theory that if I use my smaller basket, I'll find a lot more. I started off right away with the jewelry. They did have this. I don't know if it was supposed to be a pin, but there's nothing on the back, so it's going to be a magnet. I also really liked these big hoops. They had some like leaves on them, and I think that they'd be really cute for fall and Thanksgiving, so I grabbed those. And a little wooden cat ornament that is also going to be a magnet. I don't wear a lot of necklaces, and most of the time they're just gold. But that 70s style keeps calling to me, and I like the amber color of this, so I'm gonna give it a go. We'll see if I can't work it into something. Moving on, I did see these Avon 4th of July salt and pepper shakers. They were very heavy. I already have them though, so I passed. And then this cute little skunk stood out to me. It would be so cute on a trinket shelf. There were quite a few trinkets here, really. I was trying to be a little bit more choosy. So even though I love the donkey, I decided to leave him for someone else. But the chipmunk was too adorable, and he was sitting next to his squirrel friend. I couldn't leave one of them behind, so I had to get both. All three of those will be so cute together. I also thought this little basket was darling. It had some paper flowers in it, so I decided to get that. I was thinking I was looking for a really small basket like that, and now I can't remember what it was for, but I'm sure I'll think of it later. From far away, I thought this tin looked a little bit older. I don't think it was after picking it up, so I left it. And I love my brass platforms. I use them for everything, not just candles, so I grabbed it even though I have some. I also have an address book, but when I looked through this one, it had a birthdays and anniversaries list. I love the idea of having a record area for my kids and family to look at as well, so I grabbed it. They did have a lot of cards, mostly Christmas and not very old. However, these vintage gift tags definitely caught my eye. I will never pass up any kind of vintage gift giving items for Christmas. Such an awesome find. And then I found this little Valentine's book. It is ideals and vintage. I didn't realize that they made smaller ones this size, so I was very happy to see it, and I'm definitely going to use that for Valentine's decorations. Not a lot of cards were sticking out to me. There were a couple of boxes that were taped shut, so this one said it had 4 Easter cards inside. It looked a little older, and so I decided to take a gamble on that box. I also thought these little peg containers were really neat. I'm not really familiar with the game, though, so I decided to leave them for someone else. As far as decorative books go, this one would be so nice for a riser, but I decided to leave it. And I just loved the colors of that Willow Hill color, all of the browns and yellows, just love it. As far as looking for trinkets, I like to take a look at these small toys like this. There was this sweet little dog just hanging out all alone, so I had to grab him. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any others. But I did find this vintage pumpkin candle. I think it has very 90s vibes, so I had to get it. I love having the yellow eyes and mouth. This also feels right out of my childhood, and so I almost got it for my front porch, but I think I have a lot for my front porch already, so I decided to leave it. I also debated this turkey for a minute on a trinket shelf, but he's a little bit big, so I left him for someone else. And I'm always looking for vintage candy bowls for setting out candy for my trick-or-treaters, so I grabbed that. And unfortunately, it was a little bit on camera then when I was looking through tablecloths. I just didn't have a need for them, but they were very cool. That's when I decided to go back for the corn cob salt and pepper shaker. I talked myself into it. And right before checking out, I found these highlights books. They were from the 1990s. The logic puzzles I think my son will absolutely love. There were also a bunch of maze and different kinds of puzzle ones, so I decided to get him the entire stack. It sure beats playing video games all the time. And I did take a peek at these 2 cookbooks. The colors just weren't what I was looking for.
1, 2, 3, $4, $2, 25, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a quarter.
All of that for $6.25. What a deal. I did end up just giving her $7 even, and I was so happy with my finds. I think the tags might have been the find of the day. What do you think? Thanks for coming along, guys. The evenings are getting cooler, so I think we should put together a Halloween hot cocoa station. I usually save my hot cocoa station for Christmas time, but my kids and you guys have been asking about it. I always start off with some type of cookbook, and so this one stood out to me. It has a lot of blacks and oranges, and so it'll work great as a base. When I was looking for trays to group all of my items together, this casserole dish stood out to me, and so I have used it ever since. And since it's white, I do use that book to separate the 2 colors. You guys don't seem to like this hot cocoa container very well, and I completely get it and agree. But it is airtight, and I haven't found one that is similar size or that I trust that isn't going to let moisture get in. So for the time being, this is what I'm going to use. And there has to be a simpler way to pour hot cocoa without making a mess. I usually use a wooden scoop, but I'm going to put a black one in there because it's Halloween. Once the main ingredient, of course the hot cocoa, is set, I will add in all of the goodies. Thankfully, I have a lot of different candy dishes to pick from. In the first one, I'm going to put these marshmallows. I got a mix of the jack-o'-lanterns and the ghosts, and so we're going to put both in there. They are Great Value brand. I'm sure you know where that comes from, and every season they have a different kind of marshmallow. It makes it easy for me because those are always the ones I grab for the station. Next up, in that back middle area, I do sometimes put different types of candy or decorations. This time I decided to put these Ghirardelli caramel apple chocolates. My daughter seems to like them, and I think that the green and orange will be a nice pop of color in the otherwise mostly white area. And this jar was such a wonderful thrift find. It is the perfect size to fit right in the middle of these other two. Now we have the regular marshmallows in the back, but I personally prefer a dehydrated marshmallow that you sometimes get in packs of hot cocoa. I'm a texture person, and I love having the little crunch of the dried marshmallow. So those will go right in the front. Scoop because they can use their stirring spoons to add their marshmallows. Next, another great value find for every season. They usually have 2 or 3 options for sprinkles. They even flavor them sometimes. However, I just got the regular sugar flavored ones. And these are the 2 items that really bring all of the colors together and blend it in with the other decor in the room. The final step, I usually get a votive holder or a toothpick holder, and I put in my teaspoons. These are great for stirring in those marshmallows and serving yourself up the dehydrated marshmallows. So here is the overall look. Everything is organized and brought together in that tray so it doesn't add a lot of clutter to my counter. And in the future, I'll update it for fall, Christmas, winter, and Valentine's Day. My kids are so excited. Thanks for coming along, guys. I have a Trinket shelf. And awesomely enough, I was able to get another Trinket shelf. And yes, they are letterpress drawers. However, I need your guys' help. Here is how I currently have my Trinket shelf hung. I have my Nancy Drew collection below it, these 2 pictures next to it. It really balances with the white wall. Here is the general setup. It is at the base of the stairs, and you can see we hung a mirror lined up with the bottom of the stairs. The space between that door over there and the mirror is smaller than this door and this side of the mirror. So taking this entire area into consideration, I have 3 different places I can hang my new Trinket shelf. The first one, and the one I tend to be leaning to, is to take these 2 pictures down, put it right next to it, and then just slide this over slightly so it's centered. It would look like this, kind of. The next option is to go ahead and put it on the other side of the mirror and just move those 3 photos. I do have some concern about it being really tight against that light switch and then this mirror, and then having these huge white gaps over here on the right side. The other option, and please forgive the painter's tape where we need to finish the trim. The other option is to hang it in this hallway, which is between 2 doors and is about a 3 to 4 foot hallway. Right now, that area seems pretty open, but I worry a little bit about the wood being too heavy for that space and really just kind of weighing your eye down. So here is what option 2 would look like. Or we could put it on this wall here. Now, if I do move the 2 green foil paintings, I would put them here. So what do we think? Option 1, option 2, or option 3? I hope you guys can help me out. I think it might be best here. So let me know what you think.